Hello and welcome to True News JA. We have a development in the murder of the paralegal who was murdered on the busy highway.
A suspect is in custody in connection with last Thursday's murder of 63-year-old paralegal, Sandra Riston. That's according to head of the St. Andrew North Police, Superintendent Kerrick Service. Miss Riston worked for several years at one of the country's most prestigious law firms, Nunez, Schofield, De Leon and Company in St. Andrew. She was driving to work at about 7 a.m. last Thursday morning, when upon reaching the intersection of Giatti Gardens and Washington Boulevard, she was attacked by two men traveling on a Jamco motorcycle. She was shot multiple times and later pronounced dead at Andrews Memorial Hospital.
This is a report from True Jamaica Buzz of the cause of the murder of 63-year-old paralegal Sandra Riston.
This is called an update about an incident that occurred a couple of days ago off the boulevard, in which 63-year-old paralegal was taken out in a very brutal way. She was conned up at least 21 times based on report conflicting. It is said that some files from court were also missing. Cannot confirm or validate that information. Based on the information that I am getting, the Popo, them have strong leads. However, I don't know if they have these leads that I am about to share. When she lost her life, it is said that there were a couple of motives in which people were thinking. It is said that her car was stolen, and then they realized who stole the car, them thieved the car, and them scrapped the car. So therefore, it is said that information was out that the person or persons who stole that car, name was being called up to the Popo and a case was supposed to happen. So people were surmising that it had something to do with that. That was a possible motive. However, the motive that is most likely and the motive that I've got that is the reason why she lost her life, it is said that this is a case that has everything to do with DEAD left legacy. What DEAD left legacy is when somebody dies, lose them life, whether it is natural cause or unfortunate means, and then there is property, meaning house, land, just any sorts of assets that is out there, and then family are squabbling, family are having all sorts of dispute over it, and then people end up losing life because that person did not leave any sorts of will. That person did not say this property, this house, this land, this chain, this asset belongs to XYZ. It is sad when you hear family members squabbling over the elders' things. However, it is even worse when people end up losing life over stuff that does not apply to their family or over stuff that they have nothing to do with. So, based on the information that I am getting, is that this lady was the administrator of a will of some sorts of property belonging to an elderly couple. It is said that the wife, elderly wife, lost her life a couple of years ago. The husband is still alive. It is said that that couple adopted a son, don't know when they adopted him. So it is he who has problem. It is he who wants that land, that property, in which the wife and husband adopted him. Don't know the reason why they adopted him, don't know the circumstance. Based on the information, it is said that they were going back and forth to courts. Based on the information, it is said that there were all sorts of threats that were sent to this couple, to this husband, to the lawyer, the paralegal. Now people, you and I know that she worked at a law office, a prominent law office. And you and I heard the information from the Popo and the news in a social media that law office on that day in which Sandra lost her life, they closed the door. They did not have anything to say. We can assume that she was being represented by that prominent place in which she worked for in excess of 30 years. So therefore, those persons might have been scared in them boats because them know say more than likely she being a paralegal, it would have been one of those lawyers that is at that law office that represents. Now people, I have spoken about this circumstance on many occasions in which these law office are not saying that that is a circumstance in this case. They are known for people losing their property. So if this man knows that this lady work at that law office, this lady is the administrator, this lady don't know what type of instruction she was given by that elderly couple, or this man feels as if he is being slighted. I have said it before and I am going to say it again. You lawyers, be very careful the type of cases that you pick up. Persons out there, do not be the administrator of people's property when them have some sorts of sickhead family member, because that sickhead family member can come back and haunt you. And that is the case in this case. I was also told that, listen, they do not think that it is going to stop here. There is going to be some sorts of reprisal, because it is said that Sandra has a sickhead brother that is a serious youth, and more than likely they are going to be planning to look for these people. Me nah say I saw it go. I did not hear from this brother making any sorts of threats or any sorts of plan for any sorts of reprisal. Me just tell you so people know what is out there. So when we see people and we say, then hold on a minute, this lady 63-year-old, and what she could have do so? People like them say, wherever there's any sorts of smoke, there's always fire. People don't usually just lose their life just like that, mistaken identity. It is no sort of mistaken identity whenever you get 21 con allegedly, point blank and period.
On Thursday, the 18th of January 2024, during an armed confrontation with the police, 2 persons were fatally shot. One of them has been identified as Christopher Shield, OC Gang Bang. The incident started in Spanish Town and during a running gun battle, which culminated in Greater Portmore, St. Catherine. The persons were shot and killed after they engaged the police. 2 9mm pistols were recovered and a quantity of ammunition. Gangbang is considered to be a prolific contract killer. He has been involved in several incidents of murder over a period of time. In November 2023 to December 23, there were a series of robberies in Westmoreland, and he was one of the main perpetrators behind these robberies. In fact, on Wednesday the 22nd of November 2023, he, along with several of his cronies, met and organized and executed a multi-million robbery in Westmoreland. On Wednesday the 29th of November 2023, again, he was involved in the shooting of Romy Taylor, 24 years old taxi operator of Hartford, Westmoreland, who was also robbed of his Toyota Vaxi motor car. In fact, Taylor was murdered. 1 hour after that murder, he again was involved in another murder in Westmoreland. They also tried to rob the victim of a Toyota Vaxi motor car. On Monday, the 8th of January 2024, gangbangs stole a motor vehicle and it was used to transport his cronies to have it scrapped somewhere in St. Catherine. His life was a life of criminality. I want to point out that this gangbang was a said one who was responsible for the murder of Keneisha Moodie, O.C. Steffi, and her brother, Kerrick Moodie, of Grangehill, Westmoreland, on Friday, December 8, 2023. On Friday, December 8, 2023. He was the one who was seen on social media burying the two individuals after they were killed by him. So I like that to say that this individual is a vicious criminal who is very heartless, and people like him should be either in custody or where he is at now. Yesterday, the incident culminated when the police tried to prevent him from perpetrating another murder that was planned for St. Catherine. I want the public to be aware that there are several contract killers that are operating within this space. And I must commend the officers who constantly risk their lives to ensure that Jamaica is a safer place. It's not an easy task to be engaged in these type of activities when you are certain that the men that you're confronting are men who are armed with weapons. We are aware that this criminal oftentimes travel with even high-power weapon M16 rifles. So I commend the team for executing what I consider to be a very professional and successful operation to remove individuals like him from our street. As we seek to make Jamaica a better place and a safer place, the JCF will not be intimidated by anyone as we seek to pursue our functions and our duty in a professional manner. I have confidence in the level of professionalism that is demonstrated on a daily basis by the men and women who constantly risk their life every day for the safety of this nation. We understand as a force that we have a number of regulatory bodies that we have to report to. Unfortunately, the criminals, they operated unregulated. There is no SOP that they operate by in terms of their engagement. The police officers daily are mindful of their terms of engagement. They are mindful of the fact that when they operate, they have to minimize the possibility of other person being injured. So it puts them in a very, very difficult position. But they continue to be professional. And I want to say that as the portfolio officer, and I know the High Command, the Commissioner, we stand with our officers as they seek to execute their function. They are doing it in the interest of this nation. And I want to send a message to the criminals. We are not going to roll over and die. We are going to pursue you. We are going to be professional. And I will appeal to those who want to purge their conscience. As I've said before, you can make contact with us and we will give you the pathway whereby you can purge your conscience and support law enforcement.